The Jay Treaty between the U.S. and Great Britain solved many of the issues left over from the American Revolution and the Treaty of Paris of 1783, but it was perceived by France to be a betrayal of the Franco-American Treaty. Shown here is a picture of Charles Cotesworth Pinckney, the American minister who was sent to France for the peace negotiations by President George Washington. Charles Pinckney was sent to France by George Washington to establish peace negotiations, but was refused entry by the indignant French government. These events would establish the groundwork for the XYZ Affair. Shown here is John Adams, who was president during the XYZ Affair. In 1797, President John Adams sent John Marshall and Elbridge Gerry to accompany Charles Pinckney on a peace mission since he wished to avoid open war with France. Shown here is Charles Talleyrand, who was the French foreign minister at the time. 3 French agents, known as X, Y, and Z, demanded a bribe from the American diplomats before they could see the French foreign minister, Charles Talleyrand. This demand, of course, was met with outrage. Pinckney and Marshall wound up returning home, while Gerry stayed in France and, though unsuccessfully, continued with his attempts to reach a peace treaty. This cartoon reflects anti-French sentiment felt by many Americans at the time. It portrays America as being a young maiden being plundered by 5 Frenchmen, who represented the 5 directors of the French government. Feelings of outrage spread throughout the American people as a result of the XYZ affair, and over time, hostilities only grew worse. It even got to a point where many Federalists, including Alexander Hamilton, desired for war between the U.S. and France, but John Adams refused. Shown here is a picture of the USS Constellation, an American naval ship that was involved in the Quasi-War. The Quasi-War, which lasted between 1798 and 1800, was essentially an undeclared naval war between the U.S. and France. During the conflict, France seized hundreds of American merchant ships. Ignoring Federalist opinions to go to war, Adams continued to try to reach a peace negotiation, and was finally successful with the Treaty of Mortefontaine, which was signed September 30th, 1800.